Hello everyone, Charles here from Dravia Studio, and today we have a new tutorial, and in this one you will learn to create some rough glass material and fix the darkening effect that happens sometime in some very high rough material, glass material. You will also learn to create some kind of gradient glass effect on one of the bottle here. You will also learn to make some nice caustic inside of a bowl like you have seen in the beginning of the tutorial. So with no further explanation, let's dive in. So I just show you what I have done with this scene. So here you will see that there is an HDRI here on this side. You can find it on Polyheaven like before, and here you have also kind of tool here. You can select it here. Let's see, you have this plane with a displace modifier, this array. So if I turn on, you see that these two sides, you can use it just one plane. And also I have a displace on it with a small value, and on the displace I have this texture that you can find here, which is just a cloud texture here, cloud, and this value on it. Also I'll also apply some subdivision on the surface to make the displace work. And I have also modeled this bottle with the label geometry separated, like you can see here. And they are also already unwrapped, so we have also a cap here. You can see we also have the liquid geometry inside. So I suggest you to look for the first beginner tutorial so you know how to model this kind of thing properly to make the glass and glass priority to work nicely. So this is the same for the second bottle, and so on, so on. And if you recognize this cocktail cap, you know that we have done it on the previous tutorial. So let's change a few things here. The screencast enable, and maybe I make it a bit bigger. Okay, yeah, so that everyone can clearly see the font size and mouse size. Okay, a bit bigger. Okay, now that this is done, I show you I have another thing on the second layer, which is two plane I have here. I want to use this two plane to simulate some palm leaf on the pool side. So let's start with this one so you can see what happened. So if we look through the camera, we see that the palm leaf geometry are simple plane with a bend modifier on them here. You can see same here. So what I want to do is just we have a matte material on them. We want now to cut through the geometry and have just with a texture. We want to have a palm leaf. So to simulate this, you need a texture. So go in texture, add an image. In this image you can select the texture you have. So I select this one for this second one, this one, and switch to gamma 1 as not color texture. Put it in the opacity mode, and if we look here, we see that the leaf has been cut through the geometry, but now we need to invert, so we don't have geometry around but geometry in the middle. So go in util and go to select invert, and you see that we have this palm leaf geometry here. Then you see that we have the second one be enabled, so just select it. I make the material single so I can change easily to take the second texture I have here. Palm 2 on this guy, and this guy are the same guy, so I make it single, this guy single, so you can change to take the second texture. Okay, so now we have the two texture here. So if we look through the camera, so we can see that we have the shadow of the two palm leaf on our beach, and this is nice also. Second thing we want to do is to do all the texturing and the shading of the bottle. So the first thing is the bottle. So bottle gradient, this one will be the gradient, and add another one for the wine, 01, and the cap of the bottle, and another one for the label in the bottom. Okay, for the label we want to make something metallic, so we can choose metal here. We can make it a bit gold, and select the metal geometry here, apply it here. You see, select the cap and apply the cap material on it. Also we need the cap to be a bit metallic. We can even select the Disney, that work also, and we have our cap, make it a bit rough. Okay, that work nicely. We need to change also the bottle gradient, so use the geometry, select the bottle and apply. And for the bottle we need a glass material, so we can come over here, select glass material, add the Iowa preset, and add also a volume, clear volume. So for the glass we need common glass, so common glass, ground glass, this one. Okay, put it here and there. Put it here. We make the priority higher. I think we are good with this guy. And now we need to make the gradient stuff, and for this aspect we need a texture from Blender, which is this blend texture, and we need something to see how the texture is applied to the bottle. So we're gonna use a matte material temporarily, just to see what happened, and we plug the blend texture in this guy here. Then now we can add a 3D mapping, switch to UV. As we have used the screw modifier, we get the UV automatically, so we can use this guy. And we need also a color ramp here in the middle, so color ramp, let's save and just increase the contrast, and see that it is not placed in the right position, so make it vertical, so it is top to bottom, bottom to top. Then now we can add another slot in the color ramp, so first slot will be like this, second slot like this, third one like this. We can now change the color, so the first one is dark, so is below, so we can make the first one white, so the bottom of the bottle is white, the second part a bit reddish, and the third part a bit dark on the top. Now you see that we have the reddish part, but we don't see the white part, so we can come over here select the y-axis and move the color like this. Okay, I think this is great. Now that we know the correct position, we can switch from the matte material to the transmission here of our class and put it here. So now we have a class material with a gradient texture transmission, gradient texture on the class. If you look closely, you see it is working. Then we need the wine inside to you can put whatever color you want. So let's firstly select phase 2, Ctrl C, come over here, add a class material, class nodes, done. And we need to Ctrl V past the tool node previously, change the value of the Iowa preset to external, so it is close to alcohol. Put in the interior, change the color of the wine to the color you desire. So I will take pink, light pink, and also we reduce the absorption volume so we still have the color. So let's make sure, and the priority need to change also. So the priority is 0, smaller than the bottle. We select the bottle, it is priority 2. So come back to the wine, second, select the bottle, hide just the bottle. Okay, we have the inside, this part is the liquid inside, so we can make sure it's in the wine. And now we see the pink color on it, so that's great. Second thing is the label. We need to add a texture. I have a texture for this one, so I will use the same method of the leaf. Add this guy, and I have this texture 1 for the gamma, and I put it directly in the opacity, so I have the texture cutting through. Then I want to invert this one, until invert it here, so I have only the pattern as visible and the rest hidden. So this is working and this is nice. And now we go to the second bottle and do the same. So we can select the bottle gradient for this one, duplicate and modify bottle rough. So we don't need a gradient texture here, so we delete all that. Okay, and still we have something inside, so maybe I should start again. Okay, this is the bottle. 1 second, update. Okay, so we see the bottle correctly. Sometimes you need to update to see everything. We need also to add the cap. Just select this part, add the cap, and we need to add the liquid inside, so wine. 1 second, select this guy, hide it, and select now the liquid, apply wine. We can add it. Okay, so now we need to change this wine to 02 and change the color. So I want my second wine to be simply white. and ethanol is correct, bottle rough is correct. Okay, everything is correct here. So now we need the label. We use the same label, this guy here. Let's apply the label. Okay, so we have the label on the top and it is working. Then we need to add some roughness on the glass here. So before that, let's increase the specular value in the render engine, so get rid of this dark line here. You can, if you have a strong machine, go straight to 64 like I'm doing here, so you get clear. If your machine is not too strong, you can use intermediate value like 32 or 16. The higher it is, the better it is, but you must not go above 64, because above this value you don't get a lot of internal reflection. So now we want to add the roughness on the second bottle, so let's select this bottle. So normally you see here you have a rough button, so you can check this one and you get your roughness. And I want to show you something. If you increase, for example, the roughness, you see that it is darkening. So let's, for example, choose 4.4, and it is still dark because this rough shader is not multi-scatter, so it will get rough dark as you increase the roughness. So maybe you will think I need to increase the glossy, because the glossy is responsible for the quality of rough surface, rough specular material. So let's say 64. You see it's improve a bit the darkening effect, but still it is dark somehow. So how I fix this, you can stay to 4, and instead of use the rough here, the rough feature, just add a texture. Go in texture, blender, a cloud texture. You can put this cloud texture inside of the bump here, so directly on the bump. Let me move this two guy here, and we need a bump here. Okay, so we have a bump here, and let me switch to texture preview mode, and let's use the matte material here to preview our texture scale. And now we need to add a 3D mapping and switch to UV, and you will see the scale of the texture. And as you see, the texture is kind of stretched on the bottle, so it is not right. So how we can fix this, we need to use a mapping, triplanar mapping, this one. So you need to put it between the texture in your shader node, and now you can change the scale here. So let's use 100, and you see the scale is correct. Now everything seems to be good. We can come back again to, as it is connected to the glass, so come back to the glass, and let's see how it looks. So you see already that with the bump map we have here, we already have some kind of rough surface. If I remove, you see that it is kind of clear. I can restart, so you see clearly. Yeah, it is clear. If I put the bump, you see that it starts to be very rough, and to make it even rough, you can increase the value here. So let's put 5. You see that it's even rough, and I can reduce the size the dots. Okay, so I have a better surface. So the rough is done, the rough material is done, the gradient is done, and now let's go to the pool. Select the pool surface, which is just a subdivided plane with texture displacement on it. Just select it and come over here, add a new material, water, add a class 1, and we can pass the clear volume stuff, change the volume to water, 20-degree water, 20 degrees, switch to interior volume, this, and we need this water. 1 second, we update, we see the water is here. We need to change the color of our water, so let's put something right in the middle like this. And as you can see, we have water, but there is no caustic inside, so maybe you will think that you need to render to see the caustic. So let's try, but you know, because of the previous tutorial, that you need to enable to see caustic. For example, inside of a pool water, you need to enable caustic. But if you enable light tracing like this one here, and push the render, the result, you see we have light tracing. Here we have some caustic directly from the bottle here, that is clearly visible here. We have a bit of caustic from the cup here and here. But if you look with the glass bottle here, we don't really see the caustic. So how we can solve it? So here you see in light tracing you have a threshold. So here we have a very rough surface, so we need to increase the glossiness threshold, so something like 0.1 or 0.3 to be secured, and maybe we need to reduce the roughness of the bottle by reducing the strength of the bump map or something like this, and we can launch again. See, now you see that we can see the caustic is even fast here, we see it, and here, but we still don't see the caustic from the pool. So how we fix this? The caustic inside of the pool are different kind of caustic because they are caustic seen through a specular medium, so they need the caustic cache here. So go to the caustic cache, enable, put on GI cache, and this time we don't want to use the indirect light cache, we want to use the caustic cache. Yeah, so make sure this one is disabled and come over this setting. So let it by default, so you understand the setting. When we start to change, you see with the default setting that we can see the difference already. So here I have the caustic starting to appear on the pool, but it's not correct. So what you need to do is to change here the size of your caustic. So I change here, and also make this one a bit smaller so we have sharper caustic. So let me render again, so you will see that we start to see the caustic inside, but it is still not very sharp and still blobby, and also the water is still too unsaturated. So let's make the absorption a bit stronger, and also reduce here, add another 0, and here also another 0, and let's render again. So you will see that because we reduce the value here, we have very sharp caustic here. And also we have put the step sample 1 here, so we get the caustic calculation very fast, and after that we can go to compute the rest of the scene. So you see already that everything looks nicer now we can enable the denoiser, use alt condition, so 256, and now I think we can run again, but before that change the material here, add a new material with ground, and increase to 0.8, put this same material on the pool ground. Okay, and now make sure that the leaves are visible, because I've put the leaf on the second slot here. Let's render to see what happened. Pretty nice, isn't it? Now that everything looks correct, I can switch to my GPUs to have a even faster render. So let's move to the GPU. You can see here the noise, and it's quite nice already. So let's move to GPU. Yeah, GPU, I can even set here to adaptive sampling and make it faster. Yeah, switch, and we can now launch the render.